Hey y'all, welcome back to That's Debatable podcast. Obviously by the title of this video, you can tell we're not doing a story time. Basically today, this is a topic that my friends and I have discussed way too much. And when I say way too much, I mean we have beat this conversation dead like a horse. Is that the analogy? We've beat this conversation like a dead horse. And essentially, let me just set the scene. My friends and I are super into pop culture, and any award show season, we always get together and we watch these shows. And I can even date back to when I was little and I watched the VMAs for the first time when Kanye went up and Taylor Swift was accepting her award. And he's like, I'm sorry, Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. And he was 110% right. So something in that just sparked something in me that I was like, I love this. I love this season. I love the award shows. I like the drama that comes out of it, the tea, the outfits, all of it. And as I got older, I started to realize, and my friends and I started to realize that something was not connecting here. Either this person got snubbed, this person wasn't allowed to go, this person dropped out of a performance, this person talked about this person. And to set the scene, my friends and I one day, we were talking about the Grammys, and I don't know why. And we were like, yeah, it's kind of crazy how it's lost its spark over the years and how it just isn't the same as it was when we were little. Maybe we just outgrew it. Maybe we're not interested in it anymore, or maybe there's something deeper. And as we're talking about that, then we started going into the people that we always wanted to see them win a Grammy. We always wanted them to have that big moment, and it just never happened. And we talked about it for like 3 hours. And yes, my friends and I have nothing better to do, clearly. And we just were like, okay, whatever. We just left it alone. Then the next day I opened TikTok as all the girls do. And I saw this video pop up because obviously we all know now at this point, I don't think this is a debate, that our phones listen to us and whatever we say just pops up on our phone. And if you want to debate with me on that, by all means, I'm just going to tell you that you're wrong, because I literally opened it up. First thing I see on my For You page is artists who've never gotten a Grammy. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to see it. And as this guy is going down the list of people, I'm like, there's no way that this person hasn't won a Grammy. Like, be for real for a second. Like, no way. And I'm scrolling. And then the last couple people, I was like, there is no way this person has not won a Grammy. And this man basically just made a viral video and wanted to put all these outlandish names and basically is kind of trolling us at this point. And I look into the comments and people are like, oh my God, I completely forgot this person doesn't have that. I completely forgot that this happened. And it took me into a huge deep dive as to, is this actually real? Like, are the Grammys rigged? Like, because if they're rigged, it breaks all my little girl dreams ever. And if it isn't rigged, then what the hell, Grammys? Why? I don't want to ruin names yet, but that's the debate today. So is it real? Is it all just like a whole bunch of politics behind this that we don't really know about? And why is everybody scared to talk about it? Now, I'm going to start reading the list of people who haven't won a Grammy, and y'all are going to see for yourself a little bit of the tea. So first up, Katy Perry. She was nominated 13 times, 0 wins. Katy Perry wrote Firework. She deadass put in a song, Do You Ever Feel Like a Plastic Bag, and had everybody and their moms feeling like a plastic bag. Never won a Grammy for that. Okay, whatever. I let that one go because it is what it is. Snoop Dogg. He was nominated 16 times. He has never won a Grammy. And he's actually talked about this in interviews prior to, where he's just like, yeah, I gave up. At this point, it is what it is. Biggie, Tupac, never won a Grammy. Now, granted, I know what the debate back. They died. Yes, but when they were alive, they were still doing their thing. When Biggie was alive, he was still the Notorious B.I.G. Like, he was still doing the thing. And the Grammys love to do this thing where if you die, now we'll give you your credit. Now we'll give you your credits. Now we'll give you your flowers. Now we'll induct you into the Grammys Hall of Fame. Slay, but I don't want it anymore because now I'm dead. But whatever, it's fine. Keep going. Spice Girls have never been nominated. No, I mean, that's for my 90s girls. I put one in there for my 90s girls because I know y'all are waiting for that one. Sia, person that's responsible for probably the biggest Hollywood hits ever, has been nominated 9 times, 0 wins. Now, I'm not really too much of a yee-haw, hoe-down, throw-down type of girl, but I know there's probably listeners out there that like country music. I'm just not a really big country girl, but I decided to put him on the list just for y'all because I think about y'all. Blake Shelton, nominated 8 times, 0 wins. I put Blake Shelton because he was on The Voice. And if he's out here being able to criticize people on their voice, he might as well have gotten a little bit of accolades from his, but apparently not. Not for the Grammys, at least. Now, these last 2 are ones that made me do the deep dive because I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Queen, Freddie Mercury Queen, nominated 4 times, 0 wins. And yes, he did pass away. So, it lessened his chance of getting something. But again, when he did pass away, the Grammys finally did acknowledge him. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll give you your flowers now. Now, this last one hurts on a whole nother level. And at this point, it's kind of a hate crime. Honestly, I'm going to say it. I think it's a hate crime. Nicki Minaj. Even when I'm saying it, it doesn't sound real. And this is what made me go on a deep dive. Because I said, there is no way Nicki Minaj pull up in the monster automobile gangster. Like that, before she was anything, she dropped that verse on Monster with Kanye West, Rick Ross, Kanye West. Did I say Kanye West? Jay-Z? I don't know. Because at this point, I'm flabbergasted at how she's never been acknowledged by the Recording Academy. Before she dropped anything, she held up the 2010s on her back. The 2010s were Nicki Minaj. There's no debate there. It's very honest. I'm telling y'all the truth. She is the one that said, you got to keep an eye for Selena. And we still talk about that. Not acknowledged. Now, Nicki Minaj was nominated 10 times. 0 wins. When I saw that, I instantly was like, no. I know it's not because Nicki doesn't deserve it. If anything, Nicki deserves to be at every single award show, win a lot, especially during that time, her peak of her time when she dropped Pink Friday, all this, she should have deserved this. And I started looking into, okay, well, why hasn't she won a Grammy? Is it something like deeper? Maybe she never submitted her music. What is it? Whatever it may be. But obviously she did submit the music if she was nominated. Now, Nicki Minaj actually spoke about this, and basically 7 years after she got snubbed for Best New Artist and she won with Bon Iver, Bon Iver won against her. She came out and tweeted, Nicki Minaj was set to perform 2012 Grammys. She did perform. Everybody knows the infamous Roman Holiday. She did, what was it? She basically reenacted the last exorcism of Emely Rose on the Grammy stage. And now, if I didn't know this, but for any artist to perform, they have to obviously talk to the Recording Academy, which is the Grammys, and tell them, this is kind of the ideas that I have. This is what I want to do. You guys let me know. Is it good? Is it bad? Whatever it may be. So the Grammys had to clear this. They had to say, yeah, sure, go for it. You could do the exorcism of Emely Rose on the Grammy stage. She ended up doing it. And obviously, the Catholic Church, being the Catholic Church, was like, she's making a mockery of this. Like, this is not cute. She also walked the red carpet with somebody dressed as the Pope, which, I thought was a slay. It's performance art at the end of the day. Like, these artists can do whatever they want to do. It's their art. It's their craft. Let them live. So because the Catholic Church came out and was like, you made a mockery of this. Obviously, the Recording Academy got a lot of backlash, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it is what it is. This guy, Ken Erlerich, again, I don't know what it is, but it's something like that. And at that point, I forget. I think he was the executive producer of the Grammy telecast. So this is the guy that you have to talk to if you're making a Grammy performance. He came out and said, listen, we don't like to limit artists' creativity. We just kind of like them to let them do whatever they want. That's what she wanted to do. We have really no say. It's really all up to the artist. Basically blaming Nicki Minaj for the backlash. Nicki Minaj, being Nicki Minaj, stayed quiet for a minute, but 7 years later, if there's one thing Nicki can do, it's hold a grudge. Tweets out, first of all, that's not true, because I put on music for you guys, and I put Roman Holiday, which was the first song that I put, and you guys didn't even let me play any other songs. You guys were super excited about it. You guys said, this is what I want. Nope, I don't want to hear anything else. Starships are not meant to fly at the Grammys. We want Roman Holiday. That's what we want. I told you guys, fine, we're going to do The Last Exorcism of Emely Rose. We're going to do something very much like that because of, obviously, if you don't know Nicki, and everybody should know Nicki at this point. If you don't know Nicki, I'm going to say it again. It's a hate crime. She had an alter ego named Roman, and Roman was like this like super like demonic type of situation happening. They were like, yeah, all good to go. So obviously it wasn't so much that Nicki wasn't allowed to, was just decided to do a mockery of whatever it is, believe whatever you want. But more so if the Grammys were just like, yeah, we think this is great. We think that everybody's gonna be talking about this. Good idea. Nicki Minaj then tweets out 7 years later and says, hey y'all, because obviously every single year there's always this huge like debate between people being like, wait, why didn't this person win? Why didn't this person win? This person's sales were completely like out of this world in comparison to the winner. And Nicki tweets, and I quote, let me read it before I start getting crazy. Never forget the Grammys didn't give me my Best New Artist award when I had 7 songs simultaneously charting on the Billboard and a bigger first week than any female rapper in the last decade. I went on to inspire a generation. They gave it to the white man, Bon Iver, #Pink Friday, which I think is so funny because I remember that award show season and I remember when Nicki didn't win and everybody was like, first of all, like she just dropped Pink Friday. Like that was the biggest album of the year. And I remember on Twitter, at that point, I was just had like following my school friends. And one guy was like, first of all, Bon Iver is amazing. So I don't know why you guys are coming out here and getting all crazy because Nicki Minaj didn't deserve it as opposed to Bon Iver. I like Bon Iver. I'm not saying he's bad. Nicki Minaj and Bon Iver for Best New Artist. Nicki Minaj is still somebody that's on the top of the charts to this day. No offense, Bon Iver. I'm sure you're doing great. And I hope, you know, you and your kids are great. But I'm just telling you all the facts. And basically, Nicki went on to Queen Radio and said, I was so scared to talk out against the Grammys because I wanted this opportunity. But at this point, they're never going to give it to me. And all they do is they invite artists and they essentially just use them for a little likability, put them on every single billboard, and then snub them right in front just because you did something that wasn't nice. And even, which I thought was crazy, I didn't know this until I started Googling this, but one of the old, like I guess CEOs of the chairs of the Grammys came on NBC News and was like, yeah, the Grammys are rigged. Basically, this is one big politics. It's whenever we're making the decisions on who's going to get nominated, not only is the artist in the room, but their teams are in the room. The businesses that they're affiliated to are in the room. And it's basically like who's going to be able to give us the most amount of money. And whoever wins and whoever sends the nicest presents, like it's Christmas time, basically gets the nomination and gets to win. So that to me blew my mind. Then it got personal. And this is, again, one of my favorite artists ever is Ariana Grande. She is a vocal giant. She has been in the industry for a long time and she's worked up the ranks. She's done it. She's dropped, Put Your Hearts Up, which was a flop. Sorry, y'all. I know it was her first single, but that was the worst song I've ever heard in my entire life. And as a fan, I can say that. She had a huge year when Sweetener and Thank You Next dropped. I think she dropped those within the same year. So much so, Thank You Next had such an impact on everybody that I, as a personal fan and my own personal experience, have Thank You Next tattooed on my body. Literally tattooed it on my ankle. It's one of my favorite tattoos. I love that album. That album was absolutely amazing. And Ariana Grande was days away from dropping her Thank You Next album. And obviously the Grammys were going to be within that same week. So if the Grammys are, let's say, on a Sunday or a Monday, Ariana Grande was set to drop Thank You Next on Friday. She had already dropped 7 rings. Everybody knows it. Man, when when Ariana Grande decided to do a little rap thing. I mean, hey, go off. She's versatile. She tries to do it. I'm not saying she's the best. She's no Nicki, but hey, whatever. It was a good song. Her face was absolutely everywhere, on every billboard, on every bus, everywhere. She was set to perform at the Grammys. She asked the same guy that Nicki Minaj had to talk to, Ken Alaradicic. I don't know how to say his last name, but we're going to say it different every single time, just so y'all know. And 2-3 days before the Grammys, it gets rumor around town is Ariana Grande dropped out. Ariana Grande dropped out of the Grammys. Your face is everywhere. Your face is being advertised. This is the biggest performance that the Grammys had that year. And she was like, oh, we're dropping. Sorry, I'm not actually, you know what? I'm not even going to perform. I'm not even going to attend. I'm not going. Now, I don't know a lot, but what I do know is that if I have a work obligation, and not only do I drop out of work, I drop out of that obligation, I don't even show up to work. It's because I didn't look good that day. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes but serving. This not as big as the Grammys, but for serving, sometimes I just wasn't feeling myself. So I was like, I'm not gonna go in today. But 9 times out of 10, it was usually because somebody pissed me off or did something. Same man, Ken, let's call him E, because I can't keep doing this with his last name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Y'all can help me in the comments, but I can't. I don't know. I don't want to do it anymore. He comes out and says, oh yeah, essentially, Ariana Grande was too frazzled and too unorganized to put together a performance in that short amount of time that we gave her. Now, if there's one thing about Ariana Grande is that you can give her a chair, you could put her in a plastic bag, Katy Perry firework, hey. She is going to perform. Doesn't matter. She doesn't need the lights. She doesn't need the dancers. She doesn't need it all. She does it still because obviously she's an amazing performer. But you can put her on the sidewalk and just give her a mic and that's it. She'll perform. And I'm biased because I'm a huge fan, but be for real. She's one of the biggest vocal giants that we have of our generation right now. So Ariana Grande, being Ariana Grande, was like, one thing you're not going to do is talk shit about me. Absolutely not. You're not going to make me look unprofessional. So now I'm allowed to say something. Ariana Grande tweets out, I wasn't going to say anything, but now since you brought my name into the conversation, I'm going to defend myself. It wasn't because I was unorganized. It wasn't because I was unfrazzled, because you, out of all people, and she addresses Ken directly in this tweet, says, she tagged him. Out of all people, you should know I can put a performance together in less than 24 hours. That was not the reason. My creativity, my artistic crayon, girl, this is a big one. That's a big one. Her artistic vision was minimized. And she was like, I'm not doing it if I'm not allowed to do it the way that I want to do it. And essentially what happened was she wanted to perform 7 Rings, which was the biggest hit right now because of the fact that obviously Thank You Next was dropping in a couple days. 7 Rings was on top of the charts everywhere. Everybody was singing along or rapping along because that's what Ariana wanted us to do, the queen. And the Grammys, Ken more specifically, was like, no, you're not going to do it. Sorry. What I will offer you, you can do a medley and you could do the first verse, maybe a little bit of the chorus of 7 Rings, but we get to pick the second song that you perform. Ariana Grande said, hell no. I want to do 7 Rings and I want to pick the next song that I want to do. It's my performance and I should be allowed to dictate how it looks, what I sound like, and what songs I sing. And Ken was like, I said what I said and I meant what I said. You like it or you don't? And she said, okay, well, I don't. So I'm leaving. And you can't use my likability. You can't use any of it because I'm not going. And I'm going to tell the whole world I'm not going. And if you try to say something about it, I'm going to defend myself, which is exactly what she did. And the shadiest part of it all is the fact that that was the first year she was nominated for a Grammy. That was her first year that she was ever nominated for a Grammy for something off of Sweetener. I believe it might have been Breathing, but I could be totally wrong about that. But I know it was a song off of Sweetener. And not only did she not attend and not perform, she ended up winning that Grammy. And she was not there to accept her very first Grammy, which is a huge thing for artists. Obviously, this is what you work for so long. And she tweeted, it's so sad that I wasn't able to accept my award in person, but love you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and the album. Thank You Next drops on Friday. And of course, Thank You Next went on to be one of the biggest albums of that year. And if you don't agree with me, well, quite frankly, I don't care. That's not up for debate. Everything else that is not. It was one of the biggest albums that year by far. And Obviously, she's spending weeks, months on the charts. She had, I think, number 1, number 2, number 3. Like, she was filling the slots. And the next year, Ken E drops down and resigns from his spot. And he says, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to be executive producer of the Grammy telecast. I'm done. Thank you so much. Peace and love. But I'm not doing it anymore. So I guess because of that, they then asked Ariana Grande again for the next year, will you perform anything you want off of Thank You Next, because you just had a major year. And not only that, we will sit you front row and we will nominate you for over 5 categories. And I mean, if a 1-in-1 shot is good, imagine a 1-in-5 shot. So now this is a time to, I guess, reclaim her artistry, I guess, in a sense, and sit there proudly as being one of the biggest vocal giants this year, one of the biggest people in that year, and accept an award live in person. And not only that, but perform the music that she actually wants to do. So now this is where it gets personal for me. When I tell you I love Ariana Grande, I love Ariana Grande so much that I have a 6-foot cutout of her in my house. And if you guys have watched my TikToks, you guys have probably, especially back in the day, you guys have seen her little face poking out in the background of me. And again, because me and my friends love the Grammys, I decided to throw Ariana Grande Grammy night, because the Grammys were for Ariana and Ariana only. I invited all my friends. I bought food. I dipped into my own pocket for this. And I said, I put Ariana Grande right in her seat on my couch where she deserved to be. And we were like, let's get ready, because this is going to be one of the biggest nights in her career. We're watching. Okay, everybody looks great. Everybody looks amazing. Another person who had a really big year was Billie Eilish. And Billie Eilish, I believe, dropped When We All Go to Sleep, Where Do We Go? Love that album. I love Billie. Comes nowhere near to Thank You Next. Like, be for real. Be for real. Ariana Grande went through the most tumultuous time in her personal life. And I know because I texted her about it one time. And she told me all about it in the stew. I was actually there when she wrote Thank You Next. So, hey, girl. Can you imagine? I would have died. I'm kidding. That was a lie. I was completely lying. Hey, but no. Sat her front row. I'm sitting there. First category goes up. She loses to Billie. We still have like 4 other categories to go. I'm sitting there. Me and my friends are getting all excited. She just performed. And again, they're blasting her name everywhere. Everywhere, 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 everywhere. Come down to it, it's the last. She's lost every single category so far. And not only that, they have the camera right in front of her face. So every single time she loses and the person's accepting the award, guess who we're seeing? Half of the person accepting the award and the other half is Ariana Grande being as graceful as ever. Even though deep down, I would have got up and left. The disrespect is just, it's too loud in this room right now. And I would have just fully flipped out and left. Forget this, mom, let's go. She brought her mom. Like, come on. Like, she expected to win, because not only did she deserve to win, but she was being used for all the promo again. Okay? Comes down to best album of the year, or best record of the year, whatever it may be. It's the biggest award. And she loses. Thank You Next won no Grammys. And when I tell you, the moment that I heard Billie Eilish come out of whoever's mouth it was, I turned the TV off and I sent everybody home. I'm tired of this. Ariana, I'll put you upstairs. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. And at this point, like, I have lost faith in any type of award system ever. They've let me down before in the past, multiple times. But now that I'm old enough to understand the politics of it, I'm like, you really were so angry with this girl for dropping out and wasting not only your time and your money because of your mistake, but now you want to embarrass her by putting her front row, using her likability, having her perform on the show, and then snubbing her out of every category that she rightfully deserved. Sent everybody home. We didn't talk about it. I don't think I have talked about it publicly since the night it happened, because I felt personally victimized, honestly, by the Grammys. I was like, the Recording Academy, I'm sorry, but this is just not okay. It's not okay. And when I started putting all the pieces together, I was like, that makes absolutely no sense. And there has to be something happening behind the scenes, because why is it that all these artists keep getting snubbed? And I'm going to keep giving examples because there's more examples than there are not examples of people rightfully getting what they deserve. Another one, Beyonce Lemonade. Beyonce doesn't, this is why she won't give us the visuals, because she just constantly gets disrespected. She is the queen of the music industry. She is going to go down. She is a legend right now. She is a living, walking, breathing legend. Drop Lemonade, and I'm sure everybody knows Lemonade was about her and her cheating or infidelity. You know what? The cheating scandal with Jay-Z. That one. Wrote the whole thing. She had visuals for it. I went to the Formation tour 3 times. Each time I got gradually closer and closer and closer to that stage. And when I tell you it was an experience of a lifetime, it's an experience of a lifetime. Not only was the album a hit, she within herself is just not human. She is an alien. I don't believe she's real. I think she's a lizard, but that's another episode for another time. We'll get there. She gets there, all of a sudden, Beyonce being pregnant as hell. How disrespectful you do this to a pregnant woman. And she loses. She loses to Adele, and I love Adele. I love Adele with peace and love. I love Adele. But girl, so much so that even artists themselves during the Own Acceptance Award, Billie Eilish, when she won for Best Record of the Year against Ariana Grande, says, I don't deserve this. This should have gone to Ariana Grande. Which is honestly for me a little annoying, because it's like, girl, like, you already did it. Like, why you gotta turn the knife a little bit? Like, yes, we all know that you shouldn't have won it, but it's like, you did. So just whatever, just say thank you and leave the stage. Like, why do you it's just, what's wrong with you? Just leave. If you really feel that way, be like, thank you so much, but I'm gonna see you though. I'm gonna see y'all though. And just leave. Don't make it worse. Be like, Ariana Grande, it should have been yours. We know that, Billy. We know that. I'm sorry. I get agitated. I get agitated, y'all. Adele does the same thing. Adele goes, which is so funny because I watched this live with my friends too. And we were all like, what the, just leave the stage, girl. She goes, I want to say, I don't deserve this award. Beyonce, this is for you. The way you make my friends feel, the way you make my black friends feel, this is yours. And Beyonce, obviously hormonal, she's pregnant, she just lost. And I'm sure for Beyonce, this is like water off a duck's back. Like, who cares? I'm Beyonce. I don't need a Grammy. I've done it. She's the most awarded Grammy winner ever at this point. But she's like, whatever, it is what it is. I didn't win, even though I should have won, but I'm so happy for you giving me my flowers. And Adele ended up breaking the Grammy on stage and says, this shouldn't have gone to me. Now, if artists themselves are coming out and saying that is not okay, there has to be something behind it. And another example that I have was Eminem. When Eminem went on a Kamikaze interview and he says, yeah, I have a couple Grammys, but I had to sell my soul for that. I took that literally. I'm going to be honest. I did. I took it literally because I think there's stuff happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, that they don't want us to know about. Lizard people, Illuminati, selling the souls, children, all the crazy dark stuff that might be happening behind the scenes. Allegedly. Let me add that in there. Allegedly. Because I don't want to get in trouble. Allegedly. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I said it 3 times, so if y'all want to send something to me, I said allegedly. I don't know a lot about the law, but I know that if you say allegedly, it helps a lot. So I'm just gonna put that in there. I was like, there has to be politics behind this. And Eminem was like, I will never go to the Grammys again. You are never going to catch me there. Because at the end of the day, what I've been saying, he said, and I quote, they use your likability just to get your ass in a seat. They put you front row. They tell you you're probably going to win. And then they just embarrass you. And not only do they embarrass you, they just disrespect you on a whole nother level. He goes, it's not about the music. It's not about who had the best year. It's not about whose album is the best or who sold the most or who did this, that, and the third. It's about who is going to take me out on the nicest dinner and who's going to send me the nicest presents. And when I saw that interview, my heart was shattered. I was like, what? So it's really not about the music. It really is just about playing the niceties, doing it nice, making it nice. I don't know if y'all ever seen The Real Housewives of New York when Dorinda goes, I made it nice. That's what these artists have to do. Essentially, they have to make it nice so that the Recording Academy, it's like, oh, but they sent us a nice little Louis Vuitton purse for the office, so why don't we give them something back? And it takes away the shine of it all. It takes away the artistry of it all. And now you can understand why artists like Drake, The Weeknd, do not go to the Grammys anymore. Drake being one of the biggest artists in the world right now. And I keep saying it because these are heavyweights in their industry. They're holding up the industry right now. Drake drops an album every 3 hours. And every single time it's super heat fire. You can't tell, from Views all the way back to It Was Never the Same, from dropping Marvin's Room, it's super heat fire. And yet they're not going to the Grammys. The Weeknd, when he did After Hours, I believe the album was called After Hours, he was on Blinding Lights so much that every single time I heard, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights, I wanted to claw my eyes out. Not because it was a bad song, but because of how many times I heard this song on the radio, on TikTok, on Instagram, in my mom's house, in my grandma's house, who doesn't even speak English. It's like, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. You don't even know what you're saying, and it's everywhere. It was like... It was not like an epidemic, but it was like an epidemic, low-key at this point. It was very similar to, ooh, I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. That song, genuinely, if you want to torture me, put me in a room and put Happy on for the next 3 hours. I would genuinely just suffocate myself. I would choke myself out before I have to listen to that full song ever again. Blinding Lights was on the charts for I don't know how long. Not only did he not win a Grammy, he wasn't even nominated for anything off that album. So much so that people like Elton John, Kid Cudi, all came out and they were like, man, that's bullshit. You got robbed. Publicly on Instagram. And that's the public now. That's basically like the new newspaper, Instagram. Elton John was like, best record of the year, best album of the year is going to go to Blinding Lights and After Hours. I'm so sorry that the Recording Academy didn't see that. Abel, The Weeknd, because I know him on a personal level, so I'm going to call him Abel. Actually, I want to read it because I wrote it down. He said, the Grammys remain corrupt. You owe me and my fans and the industry transparency. Now, if that's not the tea, I don't know what else is. And supposedly the rumor, now, it's not like the Grammys just picks and choose who they want to be nice to. If you don't play nice with these people, they will get theirs. I don't know what the Recording Academy looks like. I don't know what they do, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just black hoods on. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get too crazy on it, allegedly, but that's all I'm going to say. And the rumor of the reason why that he didn't even get nominated, because he was actually rumored to be a performer on the Grammys. And the Grammys, I think, were at the same time during the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl was, I believe, 4 days after the Grammys. And the Grammys basically were like, no, we don't want you to do a Grammys performance and then a Super Bowl performance. It's too much. I believe they're on the same network, but I can be completely wrong about that. That I don't know. But either or, same network, competing network, whatever it may be, they were like, no, we want to have the shine of The Weeknd perform only on this show, on this stage. That way people aren't like, oh, whatever, we miss him on the Grammys, but we'll see him for the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Super Bowls is also this huge thing. So they were like, nope, we just want you to ourselves. And The Weeknd, because he's a smart man, was like, the Super Bowl is the biggest stage that any artist can be on. So no, I'm not going to give this up to just do the Grammys. I'm sorry. I love you, Grammys, but I'll do both. But you're not going to make me pick one or the other. And the Grammys was like, oh no? Okay, so you're not nominated. So you're not invited. So sorry, sucks to suck. It is what it is. So it's this big overall thing of, if you do not play nice with the Recording Academy, they will not play nice with you. And I have sat in rooms where my friends are so dramatic. One of my friends loves BTS. She loves BTS. She's through the moon with them. And without a doubt, the Grammys always use their likability to have them come out, do the thing. They'll nominate them for a category or two, and they make them lose. Now, I'm not a big BTS girly, but what I do know about them is that the Navy, which is their fan base, goes so hard for them. That anything that they're on, audience views is gonna spike by millions, not by like a couple hundred, by a couple 200. Like this is not an Instagram influencer. I'm sorry. This is BTS, and they will spike by millions. Obviously they have them come out. I'm sitting with my friend and I'm like, yeah, like I told her the truth. I said, I don't think BTS is going to win. And maybe I'm just a hater. I don't know. Ariana Grande lost for my season. So I'm not. And I really hope that you don't get to feel the glory that I did not get to feel with Ariana Grande. And she goes, no, there's no way. It's K-pop. It's K-pop. It's K-pop. They're in a whole different playing field, which I agree. They are in a very different playing field. And we're sitting in her attic. BTS's category comes up. She's screaming and shouting. And she's like, let's go, let's go. And what happens? They lost. Now, similar to me, I ended up getting kicked out of the house because she was like, this is your fault. It's because of you that they didn't win. I said, don't blame me. Blame the politics. They did not make it nice. They did not make it nice. I don't know what happened. They did not make it nice enough. I guess maybe the president wasn't nice enough. I don't know. Justin Bieber ended up winning instead of BTS. Now, listen, no shade, no tea on Justin Bieber. Because, he had the little swoop moment. This man has been around. But, like, BTS is having one of their biggest moments right now. Right now, they're on a hiatus because they're, having to go serve for their country. So, hey, it's like, but come on. Like, I think Justin Bieber's Yummy beat them. And, like, no offense to Yummy, but, like, I don't know if y'all are listening to that casually by yourselves. I definitely wasn't. I definitely was not. I'll tell you that. I did listen to BTS though, Dynamite. I think that I did listen to that. And let me tell you something. It's all in Korean and I'm still bumping. Yummy was in English and I didn't even want to listen to it. But that's just me. I don't know. And she was so furious. She was like, I'm tired of the Grammys. BTS has done this. Now she's pulling out the stats as if I'm the recording academy and I had something to do with it. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. And it's sad to see that such a infamous event, I guess you can say, or event or industry or whatever it may be, it's not what it seems. And I know that there's going to be other people that are going to say, well, BTS didn't deserve it this year. Billie Eilish deserved it. Adele deserved it. Billie Eilish also had an amazing, huge breakout year. And while I'm not saying they didn't, because they did, but if you look at the track record of it, Nicki Minaj not only had a big year, Nicki Minaj has a huge career. And for her to not ever be awarded the Grammys, that to me just left a complete bad taste in my mouth. And honestly, like I said in the beginning, and I'll say it again, it's a hate crime. It's a hate crime. It's a hate crime against Nicki Minaj. And she has every right to come out, and has spoke out, and she says, I don't speak out of fear. But what are they scared about? What is happening behind the scenes that makes them so scared to say something about it? Even people that are like, I'm not going to go to the Grammys anymore. I don't even care about winning this, but I still won't speak out against them. But I will. Just kidding. I don't allegedly, y'all. I'm scared. I'm scared too. If they're scared, I'm petrified. Like, I really don't know what's happening, but all I know is that if they're scared, we should all be scared. And honestly, and I'm also still going to watch at the Recording Academy. I'm still going to watch. I am still going to watch because I'm one of those people that just likes to be let down, I guess. Because even this year for the Grammys, it was Harry Styles, the big year. Bad Bunny, Harry Styles, Lizzo, Record of the Year comes out. And of course, it's Harry Styles against Bad Bunny. I believe Lizzo was in there as well. I'm trying to think of who else. But just to put reference, this is also the year that Kim Petras won a Grammy. Okay. All right. Thank you, I guess. And it wasn't even for her song. It was Unholy with Sam Smith. What? I don't, oh my God. That's when I knew. I was like, no, I like Kim Petras. She has some bops. I do. I saw her at Coachella one time. And this is not allegedly. I did see her at Coachella one time. Not like personally, but I saw her set. She's amazing. Amazing. I like her. A Grammy girl. Kim Petras has a Grammy before Nicki Minaj does. If you want to get mad about it, get mad at it with yourself. Debate about it in the comments. But I'm telling you where I stand on this. I forget who else was up. Back to record of the year. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. It just, that one really hurt on a different level when I saw who's won and who hasn't won. And I made a video about this on TikTok, and I got a lot of hate from y'all. And I'm gonna talk about it again because I really don't care if y'all hate on me. Because, I mean, okay. Harry Styles ended up winning record of the year for Harry's Home against Benito for Un Verano Sin Ti. Now, if a lot of people are reggaetoneras, whatever it may be, the problem with it is you don't have to be. Bad Bunny had one of the biggest years ever. As a Latino artist, Latino reggaetonero, he had a year. And I love Harry Styles. I think he's amazing. I loved Harry's Home. I still listen to Harry's Home. But when Harry Styles got on that stage and said, grabbed that Grammy and said, "This doesn't happen to people like me." What? People like you, Harry Styles? You are up against Bad Bunny, who doesn't even barely speak English. That man had to get on there, and the auto caption says, "speaking non-English." So what do you mean it doesn't happen for people like you? Like, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I feel like these artists just don't think. Like, just accept your award and get the hell off the stage. Because I'm really angry right now, and you're making it 10 times worse, Harry. And I love you. I really do. So if you ever, how you doing? But that's a different episode for a different time. I was so livid that I was like, no way, no way, no way, no way. And I think Beyonce was in that category too for Renaissance. I believe. I could be wrong. But I do think that she was in that because somebody from the audience yelled out, "Beyonce deserved it," trying to be like Kanye West. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I love Beyonce. Like I said, I love Beyonce. But if anybody was deserving of that award, it was Bad Bunny. And I'm not doing it because I'm biased, because I'm Latina. I promise you I'm not. I'm just doing it simply off the facts. He deserved it. Had one of the biggest years ever. This man toured the universe and then some, and then did it again. And for him not to win that award, that kind of just, that solidified it for me. That it was just like, yeah, this isn't about the music anymore. This isn't about who had an amazing year, who artistically really pushed themselves to a limit that we haven't seen before. It's not about that. It's about the nice dinners, the nice presents, and making it nice. And for me, it put a whole different light of it. And I've also see videos on YouTube all the time of people talking about this and like people being like, oh, da-da-da-da, but nobody has ever really gone a dive in. Like I had to look at different videos of different places to put all of this together to honestly come to the conclusion that, yeah, the Grammys are rigged. The Grammys are rigged. And if you want to debate on it and say that, no, just Bad Bunny wasn't as deserving. Well, I want you to look at the sales. I want you to look at the Billboard Hot 100s. And I know that's not a way to, I guess, say if music is good or bad necessarily, because there's a lot of music that will never hit those charts that are absolutely amazing. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to it. If you're going to invite an artist to go on that stage or use their likability and plaster their face all over Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, all over the world and say they're going to be here, just to simply take that away, at that point, you're just doing it because this is all about the money. It's all about the money. Who's affiliated with this business? Oh, this business is sponsoring this person. I'm pretty sure I have seen her on every single Grammy promo for the last 5-6 years. And I'm not saying her is bad, but I know one song and it's Focus. Me, can you focus on me? That one. But she's on every single promo and she has won countless Grammys. And again, I'm not here to play the competing game, the comparison game, none of that. I'm just here to, as a music lover, to be very, very frank. There is no reason Kim Petras should have a Grammy before Nicki Minaj. I'm not saying Kim Petras doesn't deserve it, but Nicki Minaj held the industry up on her back. And she is the only one that has been vocal about any of this, that has said, I was snubbed, I was robbed, and I'm done. I'm done. All because of a mistake the Recording Academy made that they got backlash from. Now I have to get penalized for those mistakes. And other artists, again, like I said, like Drake, you're never going to see him at the Grammys. It's just never going to happen. The Weeknd most likely never going to be at the Grammys again. I'd be surprised to even see Ariana Grande at the Grammys again. I know I wouldn't do it. Obviously, Beyonce went because Beyonce is Beyonce. So I wouldn't be surprised that in a couple years, it just turns into another like Teen Choice Awards that nobody pulls up anymore. Nobody wants to do it anymore because at this point, artists are starting to withdraw their music from even being nominated. Drake doesn't put his music to be nominated anymore. The Weeknd withdrew all his music and said, nope, I don't even want to give you guys the opportunity to embarrass me because I know what I did and nobody's going to take that away from me. And it's getting into like the messiness. Well, they'll still nominate artists. They'll still nominate Nicki, but they'll nominate Nicki in the pop category. And I know that she had her big one with Super Bass, dun 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 dun. But Nicki Minaj is a rapper. She is a rapper, and there's no reason that they should have put Lotto. No offense, I think she did Big Energy or whatever it is. No, that was Beyonce, but she did have like a Big Energy song, and they put her in the rap category, and they put Nicki in the pop one. And obviously Nicki is not a pop artist, so she ended up losing that, and she spoke out against it. She goes, you won't even put me in the right category anymore because you want to lessen my chances of winning. So at this point, I'm good. I don't think Nicki has come to the Grammys in a hot minute. I haven't seen her. I know I saw Beyonce there, but again, because Beyonce was going to be awarded the the artist that has won the most Grammys in her generation. And it's just sad. It's just sad and it's upsetting. And again, as a music lover, it's something that, I'm going to still watch. But I'm going to still watch so that I can hate on it later and talk about it with my friends. I don't take it that serious anymore. Again, I see it like the Teen Choice Awards. It's cool to have the surfboard, but does it really put a stamp on you as an artist? No. There's plenty of artists. Even Ariana Grande went on the Zayn Lau show and was like, there's so many of my favorite artists who have never won a Grammy. And at that point, I can't determine how good of an artist I am based off of this one award, because it's not about the artistry. It's not about the music anymore. It's about playing nice and who's willing to spend the most amount of money to get there. And quite frankly, who has the best team? Who has the best team that's going to send the right emails, that's going to put the right money aside, that's going to set up the right dinner dates? Who's going to do it? That's all what it's about at this point. And it's really sad as a music lover, but it's the truth of the situation. And you don't have to agree with me. It's completely fine. If you think that this is something that artists should work so hard for their entire lives, then okay, fine. I want to hear why. I used to think that. I used to think it used to be a huge thing, but I also used to think the VMAs were a big deal. Now they are a big deal because it's fun and entertaining to watch, but it's as a musician, not myself, but I wouldn't hold it as like, if I don't have a Grammy, that means I'm not a good artist. I just don't see the two. And I'm probably missing out on so many other people who have been nominated and don't have an award. These are just the ones that really, really, really hit me in my face. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Obviously, I have some personal bias with Ariana Grande. I also will go on the record and say I do think that was a hate crime. Again, guys, this is just, don't come at me crazy in the comments. Again, all of this, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm just here to, be messy, and troll you guys a little bit. But it's not cool. And I know the Grammys are going to come around every year, and it's going to be a different thing, a different debate after every single time, and people are still going to be upset about it. But at this point, once these award shows come around, as a consumer of them, I'm letting y'all know, get ready to get disappointed. And if your artist has an amazing year at the Grammys, great. I'm so happy for you. But there are plenty of other artists who have worked their ass off who have never even been acknowledged by the Recording Academy. And that alone just speaks volumes on what's happening on the inside, and as well as why is everybody so scared to talk about it? I don't understand why every interview that I have seen about it, Eminem, Nicki Minaj, Ariana Grande, all of these artists have come out and said, I am really scared to say anything against them. And I don't think it's because of the fact that they won't give them an award, because I think people have given up on that. But there's something deeper happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, but we're just being fed the nice, cute little package with a bow tie. Here it is, eat it, cake that the Recording Academy is willing to give us. And I want to know what's happening behind the scenes. I want to know, why do we have to play the niceties? Why can't it just be about the music? I know obviously money is involved, but at the end of the day, if these artists are there, I'm telling you, they're going to generate views for you, which generates money. That's how it works. So what else is happening that is making it such a scary situation for artists to speak out against? And why can't they rightfully say, I deserve this? Like Nicki Minaj did. She goes, I deserve that. I deserve the best new artist. I did. Olivia Rodrigo has a Grammy, has won multiple Grammys. And now I'm not saying she's not talented. I did like that album. It was great. But it feels like they're feeding into a certain type of demographic. And that's the one that they're still stuck on. And that's the one that we're going to continue to feed. As opposed to the Latino artists, Black artists, artists from different countries that honestly have done amazing things that we don't ever really get to see. Korean artists, K-pop. There's something happening. And I just want to be able to spark up the conversation, spark up the debate. What do you guys think? Is this all just a game? Is it a game of politics? Or is it really that these people didn't deserve a Grammy? I don't think so. But again, you don't have to agree with me. But it is what it is. And honestly, I'm a little sad. Now I'm going to go back and look at the old Grammy posts and like all this stuff and be like, it's just lost its vavoom. And I wish it would get it back, but I don't, honestly, to be honest with you guys, I don't think it ever had it. And there was a reason why the Grammys wouldn't even televise the rap category for the longest time. That category wasn't on television. They would do it when there was commercial break for the longest time. Now they started televising it because obviously people started seeing things about it. But it's not about who the best new artist is. It's about who has the best publicity team, who has the best manager, who has the most money to spend on us. And that's really all it is. And that's pretty much all I have for today for That's Debatable and the Grammys being rigged. My general consensus is it's rigged. It's not real. It's not. There's way too many different accounts of people saying that it's not. And if you guys don't agree, I would love to hear why. But if you're not coming up with that super heat fire like I just did, then by all means, you need to do better. The Grammys, you need to do better. The Recording Academy, you need to do better. Whoever you're hiring, you need to do better. You have to start, and I keep going back because once I saw that interview from the CEO chair being like, everybody that is in that room is a white male and it's their artist and their team. And they said, this is the budget that we have. What can we get for this? That's not the way that music should be looked at or valued. And it is what it is. So I want to hear what y'all think. Y'all know how this goes already. Leave a comment. I want to know what how you guys feel about it. Do you think that Ariana Grande got stubbed? Do you think that Nicki Minaj didn't deserve a Grammy? If you do, and that's a really controversial opinion, but I mean, hey, I would love to hear it. But y'all know what to do. Follow all the socials. That's Debatable Pod. Everybody knows how to work social media. You guys hear the same outro all the time. So everybody's pretty much accustomed to this at this point. Like, comment, do it all. And thanks for listening, guys. This was a fun one. I was happy to kind of dive into my mind because when I tell you this is what me and my friends talk about all the time, it's what we talk about all the time. And I know everyone's gonna be like, get a life. Okay, I'm trying, all right? I'm trying. But it works out for instances like this. And I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. And I hope some of you agree with me. If you don't, cool. If you do, tell me why. And if I left anything out, well, let me know because I'm not perfect either. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.